go to blood and stomach fix. Let me get my water. It's lost there. Hello everyone, I'm Caroline.
And I'm Phil.
And I know already I've started laughing. You may find out why later.
Yeah, and I've just said hello on the chat.
Oh, well done.
Yes, that's why I wasn't ready to say hello on the telly. I was too busy saying hello on the chat.
Well, lovely to have so many of you joining us tonight. Brilliant. Thank you, Phyllis. Always good to know. And there are a lot of you in, doing lots of chatting, and let's see who are the first three in tonight. So first person in, Bonnie Tyler fan, well done.
Yeah.
Second place, Anne Goodwin, well done, Anne.
Excellent.
And third place, Laura Sully's Creations. And just pipped to the post was Rachel Bailey. Oh, Tom! Tom Birdie's in. Thank you ever so much, Tom.
That's a brilliant start to the evening. Thank you, Tom.
Oh, we got a £10 super chat off Tom. Thank you ever so much, Tom. We really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. So generous of you.
Indeed, that's very kind indeed. And we look forward to seeing you again, hopefully soon. We're hoping to get back up now. The spring is on its way.
Yes, spring is almost sprung. Not quite.
Mind you, God, the rivers. The rivers round here, they
really crazy with us.
We went out filming this week. The film will be coming out on Friday, and we put up a short video. It's available for anyone to watch. It's only 30 seconds long. We're just showing the fast flowing rivers, and since then it has rained every day, every single day, and now the rivers are bonkers. We were driving down from Tredegar, and the waters again are taking a new shape through Bedwellty Pits. So it's been absolutely crazy. So should be washing out new finds, and that's certainly what we found when we were out on that trip. So look forward to next week's video, because it's going to be extremely exciting.
It is. We found some lovely things.
And we found things that we don't often find in Wales.
Wait till you shrunk.
Right then. So then, what are we going to do? Well,
first thing I want to do, Mankey has been playing up. He's done something. I don't know what he did, but somehow he's managed to grow himself huge. He's been life-size, and I've been waiting for him to shrink because he wants to sit on the shelf. And if I put him on the shelf that size, he was going to break the shelf. But I think he seems to have shrunk back down now. So, there we go. He's back to his normal size. You can go on the shelf now.
There we go. If we can find space, there we go.
Stand up there, Mankey.
Because I've been decorating with some of our finds and bits and pieces.
Yes.
Some of our bits of pottery and things. And it's amazing, isn't it, how a couple of busted pots can look nice if you put them on a shelf.
Yes. I think
you've got to wash them, just put them on a shelf.
I think they look lovely sticking out of the mud.
Mind you, saying that, I did wash this one. It is not spotless, but it's definitely...
I wouldn't want it spotless. I like the age on it.
Well, something I can see now more clearly than when we were down there is, look at the top edge of that. I know it's chipped there, but there is absolutely nothing uniform about that edge at all. It's totally wavy. So that is a good old pot.
Yes.
And also, I don't know if it's possible to pick it up. Yeah, at the bottom there, can you see it slopes down and then it goes a weird shape in the bottom. It's almost rounded at the bottom. So that's quite a nice pot.
It is. I do like old pots.
Yeah, and you can tell by the texture of it. It's not your shiny standard terracotta, is it? It's been pressed out in a mould. Possibly some old boy pressed them out.
There's probably fingerprints inside, which we can't see.
Like I said, I'm wondering if it was pressed with a plunger on the inside and a mould on the outside, and perhaps somebody was making those in a large greenhouse, somewhere, and producing their own pots and letting them dry in the sun, because it's so wonderfully badly made. Absolutely beautiful. But to survive in that dump and end up with just that chip, I thought was gorgeous. So really like that one. We got nice lot of finds to show you tonight, because we had a great time down at that dump. We really did, and saw some interesting things. But
we did.
Are we going to start with a question good and early tonight?
Why not? Let's have a question.
Okay. This question is linked to one of your finds.
Right, which one?
Your glass bottle stopper.
My glass bottle stopper.
Yep, there we go.
Here we have one glass bottle stopper. Let's have a look.
There we go. Which I found in the water. I nearly fell in the water.
Is that the right way up? No, wrong way up. There you go. Sorry, I can't see what it says. Let's have a look. It says cartons. Gartons. Sorry, gartons. What are you doing?
I'm looking because somebody just said there's a thumbprint in the bottom.
So look, is there?
They said, is that a thumbprint? They said it's handmade, possibly a thumbprint in the bottom.
I can't see a thumbprint.
Yep.
No, it's very rough inside.
The shape of it.
It could be where they ran their thumb around because it's a little bit sort of dented around there. But anyway, that says gartons.
Right, gartons. Well
Gartons.
done. So we will have our first question. Is everybody ready?
Don't forget, don't answer until I say go. And when I say go, type in your answer.
Yep, and it's going to be A, B, or C. And the question is, for as long as there have been bottles and jars, which is a very long time, people have come up with a way to close the top. Because having a bottle or a jar defeats the object if you can't close it. They've been using straw, rags, leather, clay, wood. In fact, whatever they could find to stuff in the top of a container, they would use back in the day. But how old are the first bottle stoppers that have been discovered? Do they date back 1,500 years, 2,500 years, or 3,500 years?
Go!
So if you think it's A, 1,500, B, 2,500, C, 3,500 years, they wouldn't have necessarily looked like that.
No, probably
but
wouldn't.
There are bottle stoppers in collections and museums that date back to either, 1,500, that's the A, 2,500, that's B, or 3,500.
I know what I'm going for. Oh, I'm right.
Well
Wow.
done.
I'm not very often right. Nobody ever has to feel bad they don't get it right. I very rarely get it right.
There you go. Oh, right, let's have a look. Ooh, lots of answers.
There's quite a selection.
Put it this way. In the first three answers, I've got an A, a C, and a B.
So you're okay.
So I know
Somebody
I've got a
got the
correct
right
answer there. And then the next three answers, I've got a C, an A, and a B. So I got a correct answer there. And then I've got three Bs, an A, a C, a D. A D?
A D? Oh, it's different.
Lynn, you're winding me up now, innit? You're winding me up, innit? Think that was going possibly
Probably
for
cover a C
C
because
and
it's
when
just
one up
above
above, yeah. Anyway, the truth is that if you said 1,500 years, you'd be incorrect because they are actually 1,500 years BC, which makes them 3,500 years old. Yep, 3,500 years ago. That's the limit at the moment to when they've discovered stoppers to go in the top of a bottle made from glass. So isn't that good?
Oh, yes.
So now we've got to determine who's the winners.
Who was first in according to our computers, which as
Yeah.
you know isn't always the same as everyone else's, or not even necessarily the same as on both computers.
Well, I'm going to try and at least get it right because after this question, I'm going to make an apology for last week. Right then. Oh, second answer in was a correct answer. It's a C, and that's from Jason S.
Well done, Jason.
The next answer in that was correct was from the man from Yorkshire, Tom Burley.
Well done, Tom.
And then I've got to scroll down a little way to find our friend who is not seeing the moon out of their window because it's Linda Peterson.
Oh, well done, Linda.
There we go. So we've got Jason, Tom and Linda. You've got first, second and third, gold, silver and bronze. And I want to make a special award.
Oh, special award.
Yes,
Oh, special.
he's not in the room tonight. Mr. Mike Sage is off gallivanting, away for the weekend, can't be with us. But I have to make a special Gold Podium Award because last week when it came to how many times have you seen Mankey, in fairness, there's Mike's name, clear as a bell. He wrote the word 5. My problem is that sometimes when I'm looking down the lists, I'm looking for numbers and letters. I missed completely. So I announced the 3 winners, and although he was next to Dan Fetters.
I'm going to interrupt you. Well done, Stephen Webb. You interrupted Phil. Thank you so
Stephen.
much. Oh, that's really kind of you, Stephen. We got a £2 super chat from Stephen.
Absolute gentleman.
That's really kind of you, and we
you.
really do appreciate that. Thank you so much.
We do indeed. Thank you. And even after I confessed that I completely messed up the quiz, you still give me a super chat. So I don't mind being stopped for that. But yeah, as I say, Mike did a cracking job. Got it right. He would have had the silver podium last week, so I'm giving him a gold podium that he can stand on all on his own with no one either side of him, except he's not here, so it's an invisible mic on an imaginary gold podium. If you can visualise that where you are, I'm sure it'll put a smile on your face. And I'm sure Mike will be watching the playback, so Mike, humble apologies.
You just can't get the staff.
And I will try to do better this time. But I'm fairly confident I got it right this time with Jason, Tom and Linda. There we go.
Right, I'm going to show you some body parts. Don't panic, not my body parts.
Oh, yes, go some body parts. Aye, that cleaned up nice.
Look at that. Didn't he come up lovely? You can see her little kitten or cat, whatever it is.
I got soap water out on her.
And it's her face. She's quite pretty. They're not always pretty. You know, I don't like to upset people, but sometimes their faces are not really that pretty, but she's pretty. And then I've got this gentleman's legs. But Phil made a discovery with these. This is the one that I thought was Bisque, and I still think it is, because, let's put my glasses on to double check, it's got like a little dots. Let's see if I can show you this. That are glistening.
It's got a very different feel.
They put a glaze on, a shiny glaze on. I think they fired it as Bisque, and then afterwards they just put the little dots on and refired it, whereas normally they would cover it in a complete glaze. And so I don't know why, I like the Bisque finish on things. It's really dry and powdery, like a clay pipe, I suppose. But this hat and head fits perfectly, well, from the front. Wait a minute, should we go? Yep, that way.
It goes down on like that.
There we go.
Right.
But just don't look. She has a baby behind. But that's really cute, isn't it? It's about the right proportions. So I think that was very clever.
Yeah, well, I'm always trying to put things together and create my Frankenstein
While you're talking, I'll be
art.
back.
So as I was washing those two, I tried them together and thought, that would work. I could put those together, put some things around them, create, because I love using things in a way they shouldn't be used, putting things. As you know, I love my melted bottles, I love melted glass. I like rusty things, I like old things, I like mixing fossils with rusty metal. It's just what I do. It just seems to work. Sometimes things work, even though, like Caroline said, it's obvious that it doesn't belong. But sometimes that can be part of the magic, part of the beauty, is taking things that absolutely do not belong together, putting them together, and for some reason when you look at them, they think, in some weird way, that's working. And that's what I like to do.
I know this isn't going to work,
now,
but just...
You're getting very posh.
I
now.
was. It
you're getting all sophisticated.
It hasn't come out anywhere near the way I wanted it
all
to.
you need is a good blob of hot glue and you're sorted.
Yes.
That's all I ever use is hot glue. I had to borrow Caroline's
For
gun.
those who don't understand our language, that's hot glue.
Yeah, that's hot without the H.
Now, I know it's not working very well. I haven't got the right sort of lace or the right length. But so you can make her a little skirt, and then if I tie that into a bow on the back... So what I'll do now is I'll take it down, I'll just tie a quick bow.
Lexi, you've got strange friends.
What have Lexi's friends done now?
Putting body parts under their husband's pillow, and he thought it was the dog.
Real ones?
They were off Barbie dolls.
Oh, that's okay then. I was going to say, yeah.
Very strange.
Quite a
you hang
nasty...
around with some funny people. I tell you, them college kids from Aberystwyth.
Yeah,
Look out.
Sort of thing I'm trying to show you. I haven't got enough lace in now, but if she had a big bow on the back of her there... This is only a small bow. It would cover it up, so I think that's got potential.
That's because if Caroline uses that in craft, it'll have bows, it'll have all sorts, so that you can turn it around. Now, you know me, folks, if I make it, it's going to have one blob of hot glue, stick the two together, and you won't get to see the back, because I'll stick something behind it so it is standing against a wall. We each have our way of doing things.
We do. The best ever, I can't remember if I recently mentioned this, but the best ever craft I ever think Phil made was when he made the standing stones down a bridge end. And he showed everybody, and he glued little stones on top of a bigger stone. And as he
put them down there, and one fell off.
And he did this clunk, and Phil as the
I just carried on.
Professional, just carried on.
Professional.
As if this hadn't fallen off, and the noise it made when he hit the shelf. Well, I was
done. The noise I made was nothing compared to the 3 minutes of hysterics I had to put up with.
The fact your face was so like, oh, of course that didn't really happen.
You just carry on regardless.
That's going to be my highlight of all the programmes we've ever done.
I have stood in the front of 1,000 funerals now and conducted the service, and I tell you, on occasions things don't go right, and the last thing you do is admit something's going wrong. You just carry on regardless, whatever's happening around you.
It doesn't work with me around.
I would never take I would never take Caroline to work. Not a chance. No, because she would know if something had gone wrong. I would be carrying on, and she'd be giggling at the back of the crematorium. It wouldn't work.
Okay, we got all you watching. How many have we got in?
We've got 46
watching. People. Now, am I the only person who does this? I got it from my mother, and I don't know if anybody else does it, but if you tell me something sad or something bad, I start to grin, and I just can't help it. Am I the only person in this whole house tonight, because you all joined us, that does that?
And for that reason, Caroline always looks guilty.
I do.
I can get away with murder, because if I'm next to Caroline and the kids say, if one of you moved something, Caroline's got a big grin on her face and they think she's done it, even if it was me, because
if there was suspicion, I just grin. That's what I do.
Which, I've got to be honest, was not Caroline has got many brilliant qualities.
Oh,
and I
will say something nasty now.
That in all the years in my ministry, and when we worked together in ministry, she was 90% of our success.
90% of the time, not laughing.
No, 90% of our success is down to Caroline's people skills and everything else. But it was having a wife who, when something is serious, gets the giggles. Doesn't always work in ministry.
No.
I have to shut her in the kitchen if somebody came to see us with bad news, just in case she started smiling.
But Mary Elliott does it as well, and Phyllis remembers the incident with the standing stones.
I think those who were here will remember. They'll remember you laughing.
But also Mary Elliott does it, and the reason why we were sort of semi-laughing when we first started the show is that Phil showed me the two pieces of happy news, and the one of them is something's quite serious, and as soon as he mentioned it, I started laughing. So he said, well, what about this one? And it starts off as the terror, and I said, you can't give me something with the word terror in it. I will never stay sane.
It's TERRA.
Yeah, and I know that now, so I'm doing the terror cycle one.
So you're going to do that after? Now? Do you want to put your jingle on?
Let's have a mini bit of
they all want to know what the terror is now.
We're back on.
Yep.
Solving a problem at source. The TerraCycle Global Foundation reached an impressive milestone last month, announcing they've removed over £2 million of waste from rivers, canals and waterways, and they turned the plastic into useful items for sale. Since its founding, the non-profit organisation has targeted ocean pollution right at its source, waterways. When polluted, they send waste directly into oceans, harming sea life and the environment. Operating throughout Bangkok and Thailand, TerraCycles work with the local community and governments to address the complex challenges of collecting waste before it enters a... Say
big words.
Commas! Please give me
commas. You don't need commas. They're just overrated. A waste of good ink.
Operating throughout Bangkok and Thailand...
I put a full stop at the end of the page.
TerraCycles work with the local community and governments to address the complex challenge of collecting waste before it enters and pollutes global aquatic systems. Okay. The foundation is currently operating wildlife-safe river traps in Thai canals to recover waste directly from the water. The waste is then sorted and plastics are separated and recycled. We take a holistic approach to reducing plastic waste in waterways, said James Scott, TerraCycles Global Foundation's Executive Director. Our operations provide safe, stable employment for members of the local community in Bangkok while creating cleaner and healthier environment.
There we go.
I really made it.
And I took some of the big words out of that report.
Sorry, I ruined it for you.
I took some of the big words out of that report, try and make it easier, but I obviously took all the commas out as well. I like that story because Caroline often speaks, when we're talking about different things, she often says it's a shame somebody won't go out to this, because we've got this island in the sea that's made of plastic. I don't know if any of you have seen the news stories on that. It is literally the size of an island, and it's just plastic that's gathered together in the ocean. But this group got the idea, we can stop more getting there. And we can do that much more effectively than trying to catch it after it's out in the ocean. So they've built the traps, but then they had another idea. We can employ local people, because the wage scale is much lower in that part of the world than it would be in the US or Europe or Australia or anywhere else. So we can give people safe, secure jobs. Then they recycle the stuff, make things out of the plastic, advertise the fact that it's river plastic that's been recycled, sell the items at quite a high-end price to those people in the West who want to save the planet, and then use the money to pay the wages of the people who are taking the plastic out. And I thought, that I really think is recycling. That's a full circular thing. So I thought that was an excellent story.
And that's not the only excellent story going on tonight, because Ian Davis said, "Hi Caroline and Phil, your last film was my whole idea. Glad you enjoyed the bits and pieces we left." What a coincidence.
Thank you. You done a fine job.
You did. You
done a fine job. I tell you what, we were going along and we thought, because on that first hole, obviously nobody had dug there for some time.
No.
So the bottles were a bit green and that, and then as we came along, we saw this. Well, in Wales, we got a lot of sort of coal tips, and it looked like that because it was new, fresh, over the top. We thought this one's got more hope, and it did. There were some lovely treasures there, and that's what we love. Is that people like Ian go out, they do the bottle digging, they have the fun, they gather the things they want, and they're so kind, because as you know, we have had occasions when people have smashed to smithereens the things they don't want, which seems silly really, because other people like ourselves, we make our adventure out of not digging but just looking and collecting and finding, and there were some lovely treasures down there.
Go on then, break it to me, Ian. What is the best bottle you found? Have you found anything like cod bottles or onion bottles or something really good? I'd love to know what else you find.
Well, I tell you what, I'll show you our best bottle from down there.
Go on then.
And I picked it up when you mentioned Mary Elliot's name, because for some strange reason, this bottle reminds me of Mary. Because this is Clark's of Lincoln, world-famed blood mixture. And if everybody out there, and by the way, Mary, this has still got the cork in.
Oh, look at that.
Still got the cork in. There we go. The cork's been pushed into the bottle. Blood mixture. The reason that reminds me of Mary and John is because they've got a brilliant museum full of the sorts of things that give you nightmares, because they've got all manner of medical, surgical and other things. And we've seen some of the pictures have gone up on the Facebook page, and quite amazing. So that's the sort of thing they love and collect. And then next time we see you, Mary, you'll be welcome to have that if you'd like to have it, because that's a Clark's Lincoln world-famed blood mixture.
World-famed, mind?
Now, I did say we'd try and find out a bit more about it, and good to my word, I have here an advertisement for the same said blood mixture. Spring calls for Clark's blood mixture.
Ooh.
The best spring medicine for rheumatism, lumbago, boils, rashes, eczema, ulcers, sores, rheumatic joints, sciatica, varicose veins.
Ooh, sorts it all out.
The reason why? After the trying winter, your health is at its lowest. Stuffy rooms lack of sunshine and fresh air, lower the vitality and clog the system with impurities. Clark's blood mixture cleanses the blood and will restore your health and vigour. Pimples.
You sounded like Churchill there, will restore your health and vigour.
Well, it was written around that time, I think. Pimples and blemishes. I have taken only 3 1 and 9pence bottles of Clark's blood mixture, and every pimple and blemish has disappeared. A.C. Paisley. Insist on Clark's blood mixture, the original and genuine blood cleansing medicine, sold everywhere in tablets, 1 shilling 9pence, 3 shillings or 5 shillings, or you can be sold as liquid, and the prices are the same. And then it says, the best laxative for general use. So it does everything and gives you the runs. And I'm not surprised.
I'm sure every word of that must be true.
And here's the interesting thing. All that's written on there, and there's not a single ingredient.
Could be anything.
You know, I know. People, they get a bit upset sometimes, and some people bang on about, oh, we're gone crazy with rules and regulations and all this. But I got to be honest, I think we may go too far sometimes, but I think we've moved in the right direction when we take all that nonsense off the label and actually put what's in there and how it works. Because there's no ingredients. I looked on the whole thing. No ingredients, but it will cure your blood. So there we go. If you're looking for some blood mixture, there's the bottle, but there's no mixture inside. There we are. Would you like to have another question?
Why not? Do we need a find for that?
No, I'm okay.
Right, there you are. If you want to get started, I've lost something I wanted to write down.
Now, Caroline did pick up this very well-known product, this jar. You could spot that a mile away. It's a Bovril, and that one's Bovril Limited 16 ounce. But of course, we did find other jars. You know, I had to reach in for the one, didn't I? And we found quite a few jars down there. And sometimes we bring them home if they're of a particular size and style, and the sort of thing Caroline can use in her craft. But otherwise we leave them there. Sort of jars that kids used to tie a string around the top and hold to go catching newts and go fishing in the springs and rivers and ponds in days gone by type thing. I want to ask you a question about jars. Because the jar industry in America originated in Jamestown in the early 1600s when some of the settlers built a glass melting furnace. But those jars were quite expensive. Like today, we everything's on the shelf in jars. No, people bought a jar back then, would use it, preserve things in it, and they would reuse it, and they may use that for the rest of their life and pass it on to their children and their grandchildren. Because the reason they were expensive was each jar was made by an individual. It was blown. That's how they made jars back in the day. But then they introduced an automated glass blowing machine, which took out the expense of the labour, improved the speed astronomically, because these days there are machines and plants. There are plants out there that can turn out 1 million jars in a day, which you can imagine that could never have been done.
No.
My question is, when did the work become mechanised with the invention of a glass blowing machine? So they're blowing them in the 1600s there in America, in Jamestown. Was it in 1703? That would be A, that they invented the new machine. Or was it B, 1803? Or was it C, 1903?
Go!
So when do you think?
And while you're coming in with your answers, Ian said the Hall produced a lovely Bushmills distillery embossed with a still. It was established 1784. Oh, wow. I've never seen anything like that in any of our bottle discoveries. Nice find. Was it clear or was it a different colour?
Peggy Reed was
to know.
Peggy Reed was wondering if Dracula would have liked some blood mixture. And I did notice earlier on that Ed was saying he's got the exact opposite problem to you.
Right.
Whereas everyone will say to you, what are you smiling about? They keep asking Ed why he's so sad when he's not.
I get that a bit, because I laugh all the time. I'm terrible. But if I'm just doing nothing, my one friend, she's got a natural smile. Whatever's going on, her face naturally goes... With my face naturally goes... Yeah. I'm like, if you've ever seen Smiler on Last of the Summer Wine, that's what my face is like naturally. It tends to... If I just relax, I'm going to frown. And then people say, oh, it might never happen. But the temptation say it already has. But I don't. Right.
Right then, here we go, folks. So, what are we going to say? They started making bottles at the Jamestown in the jars in the 1600s. I'm sure they were producing them around the world as well. But when did the new machine come in that was capable of eliminating the need for manpower? It seems like quite a lot of people are going A's and B's, quite a lot. So, well,
let me have a look, see what... I guess wrong.
Yeah, well, the good news is The answer's C, and I've got 3 correct answers out of about 25 answers. Abigail Howes, you were about the 20th answer on the list, but as far as I can see, the first one to go in 1903.
Well done, Abigail.
1903, that's when we automated the process. Up until then, jars were not mass produced. If you think about it, you don't see glass jars with the... If you go back to the marmalade in the 1800s, they're all in pots.
Right.
Jam was all in pots. The glass jar, mass production, turn of the century, 1903. So Abigail, brilliant. As I always say, it's worth putting an answer in, no matter how far down the list you are, because then it's Judy Erickson.
Well done, Judy.
And then the last but one answer to come in on the list of about 25 answers was Sandy Black.
Well done, Sandy.
So as long as I haven't made a mistake, it's Abigail, Judy and Sandy were the only correct answers until naughty Lexi B just stuck a C in on the bottom.
Why not? Why not?
So she gets a special place as fourth. But yeah, it was surprising. I was surprised. I'm not at all surprised people went for the 17 and 1800s. But then when you think about it after the event, like we showed you the marmalade jar. They're all made out of clay. The Hartley's jars, all made out of clay because they couldn't afford glass. Because they could press pots out of clay, just like somebody did with this. That's all you were really doing, just stamping something square sides and stick a wooden lid on the top. But then, whoomp, 1900s,
Whoomp.
glass everywhere. And now, you have a look on your supermarket shelves, glass everywhere. But it needed them to get to the point where they could make the glass. One man operating a machine could make 1,000 in the time that he would have only made perhaps 10 or 20. So that's what made the difference. Put an awful lot of glass blowers out of work, I should imagine, because that's what progress does.
Yeah.
But there we go, folks. Thanks for taking part.
Right, Ian said it was clear and in great condition. Oh, lovely. I will leave more of you next time I'm there. I tell you what, Ian, it would be great if you can contact us and let us know when you've left things, and then we know to pop back down again.
Indeed.
That'd be great.
Indeed.
We really do appreciate that.
I thought we were going to have to rush back a bit quick, because everybody was raving about your beautiful green jars.
Oh, yes.
And I said to Caroline, I said, they all like your green jars, love, and I can't remember picking them up.
Because I was going off filming and I put in little piles everywhere and I forgot where some of the piles were.
But as it is, they're over there, aren't they?
They are. Do you want to see them?
Yeah, all 3 of them are there. They are a bit sick.
They're very 6 of them.
Yeah, but they're still green.
So, 1, 2. Very difficult to show you 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, they feel quite sticky as well. They're not sticky, but it's just
It's the texture.
the texture. Yeah, they feel. I feel like I'm sticking to them, and I'm not.
And I think one of them is slightly wider neck than the others.
We shall find out now live
Not
on
sure.
camera. Brace yourselves, everyone.
No, they're identical.
No, they're identical.
Just seemed different when I was washing them.
It did
Slightly
make me
different.
think, I'm terrible. Whenever I buy anything, I always think, right, turn it upside down, turn it the other way, see if you can make something with it. And I thought this, with a right top and the right bottom, would make
Nice candlestick.
a lovely candlestick, wouldn't it? If I could stick those together. What does everybody, if anybody on here glues glass, what do you use to glue glass? Because
Hot
I
glue.
know a lot of the people in America say about E6000, but I can't find it over here.
Gorilla.
Not unless it's, so I don't know if Gorilla Glue will do it. Does anybody glue glass in a safe way that it doesn't fall over? Because I'd like to do that. I think it'd be cute.
There we go. Right then.
Right.
Shall I do my happy news?
Why not? And
Right,
this will be very
can
serious
I have a
happy
jingle?
news.
It's not serious, it's just you wouldn't handle it. Can I have my jingle? Have a
Jingle, jingle, jingle. I got to find it first. There we go.
That's the one. Now, we have had a story similar to this, set in, I believe, the Netherlands. But I read this story this week and thought I'd share it with you again. Preschool meets dementia care with wonderful results. They say it takes a village to raise a child. So on that concept, a dementia care village in England has incorporated a day nursery for small children into their village, bringing together young and old for learning and sharing. Stimulation, learning and fun are all known to delay the progression of dementia. And what better way to add these critical elements of life to a daily regime than to let the preschoolers do it? Belong is a non-profit operator of senior homes, and they specialise in dementia care. But this is the first for them to integrate children into the mix. The UK charity Ready Generations partnered with Belong to run the village's day nursery. Children feature in the daily life of the residents and tenants, enjoying experiences together, including shared mealtimes, stories, arts and crafts, and exercise classes. And it's win-win, as it's a benefit for both the children and the residents who enjoy it. So I thought that was a nice story.
It is, very nice.
And I know this is happening in other parts of the world, where they've begun to realise that segregating the generations is not how we work best. That we have something to offer. Right? When Caroline and I, probably mentioned before, when Caroline and I were courting, one of the things we loved to do was we would go visit. We had a group of elderly people associated with our church, and each night of the week we'd go and visit a different person, and they became great friends. But they told such wonderful stories. They had such interesting backgrounds, because we were sitting down with people in their 80s and 90s, and Caroline was like 16 and I was 19, and we're talking to these people who'd lived 3, 4, nearly 5 times as long as you, and they were telling us about the past as if they'd been there, because they had. And it was a wonderful experience. So we've lived through that. We know that. We've also seen the tremendous benefit to one place that we worked, where we brought all the people that had learning difficulties and disabilities and mixed them all together with everyone else. We did coffee mornings, they brought plays and everything. And the mix was fantastic, wasn't it? It really worked brilliantly well. And we saw such breakthroughs in people communicating with each other. And young people who really took to some of the folks that come along and found them interesting and entertaining, and they'd be sat laughing together. So I think I always get excited when I see these sorts of ventures going on, because sometimes we can overthink it and the answer is right under our nose.
Right, few people saying I can use E6000, you can get it on Amazon. Right, have a look and check that out. I know I did look on Temu, but they had, like, I can't remember, it wasn't quite the same numbers, and I'm thinking, I don't know what the quality's like there. And somebody said about sick glass. You can give it a rub over with something like baby oil, and it'll do a pretty good job, but then that wears off. So you can't, some naughty people, bottle diggers who they're a little bit sick, will rub baby oil on them and sell them, and people think, oh, they're nice and shiny, and then a couple of months later, it's not like that anymore.
Our Tom is saying that you can use a special tumbler to polish the glass, and he's hoping to make one at some point.
Oh, right. Oh, that's what we're waiting for.
That's
then,
all right.
Tom. Let us know when
that's. Let us know you've made it. We'll bring a suitcase with us full of sick bottles.
Hello, Tom. We've come to stay. They're now suitcases, now jammers. They have sick bottles.
There we go. Right then, shall we have another question?
Why not?
Rightio, folks, we're going to have another question, and this is linked to something I was saying just a moment ago when I was illustrating how the Dundee marmalade was not in jars because it predated the explosion of mass production in glass. We found 2 pieces of James Keeler and Sons Dundee marmalade jars, on which it stated, as I pointed out, only prize winning marmalade. Where in the world did the Dundee marmalade makers win their Grand Medal of Merit in 1873? Was it A, Spain, B, Austria, or C, Belgium?
Go.
Right.
It wasn't Scotland.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't in the UK. It was in Europe. They entered their marmalade, possibly because nobody else was making marmalade, because they were the first to invent it.
You're so probably going to be in the top 3, even if one or two. Mind you, Right, that's what lets me think of my answer. Well, my answer's wrong anyway. But I was thinking, I see most of your answers are in now, so I can say they do make marmalade with the oranges in Seville and the bitter oranges out there. So they may have been making marmalade.
Yes.
Before even the Scottish, because it took a while before the Scottish could actually get any sort of import of orange, whereas the Spanish were making them a long time ago.
The legend is, which is a very similar legend to the one of Hartley's jam, is that Hartley's, of course, made the jam because they had a load of fruit that come shipwrecked and it was all going off, so they jammed it, which we all made jam, and they just decided to mass produce. But this family ended up with a load of unedible oranges that were really sour.
Right.
And they got them cheap. They didn't know what to do with them. So they just experimented out and mixed it with sugar and everything else. And they came up with this.
But did the Spanish do that first? Or because they must have had an awful lot of them?
Somebody must have, because in 1873 they were having a competition.
So there must have been more than one. You couldn't really have a marmalade competition if the only people who made it was Keeler's.
And anyway, I think they'd have done better than a Grand Medal of Merit if there'd been nobody else to compete.
That's right, they'd have had the Great Inventors Medal.
So, what are we going to say? Everybody saying different? Yep, got a bit of a spread. Well, I can tell you folks, if you thought it was Spain, which I suspect Caroline did, it's not, and neither is it Belgian, because it actually took place in Vienna in Austria. And it says, not on either of the pieces we showed you because it had snapped, but it actually says on the top, Grand Medal of Merit, Vienna. That's how we know. So we're looking for B, and the first B is the sixth answer today, and it's from Mary Elliott.
Well done, Mary.
The next B is from Rachel Bailey.
Well done, Rachel.
And the next one is from Ribble Finds and Crafts.
Well done, Ribble Finds.
And a special mention to Mr. Tom Burley, because Ribble Finds and Crafts pipped him to the post. But he did have the B. And I think B was, in fact, he was the only other B. So there were only 4 correct answers that time. Worthy of note. Worthy of note.
Right. What was it? Somebody said, Lexi said she can't stand marmalade. I don't like orange or lemon marmalade, but I love lime marmalade. And I don't think it's so bitter. I really like lime marmalade. Have you tried it? Does everybody agree with me? Or does nobody agree with me that lime marmalade is much nicer than the other two?
This is heavy.
Yes, and you can all guess what it is.
This is heavy. You're not a bimp, folk. Come on, you've got to admit it. Even if you're not into bricks, you've got to be into that rubbish spelling. You've got to be into the back to front letters. The S is backwards on Malbus, and just about everything's backwards on Mr. H. Tunnadine's name. That's what it says, H. Tunnadine, and the ends are all backwards, which is a bit weird, but it's H. Tunnadine in Malbus, and that's one heavy brick. And I can tell you from my research that Mr. Henry Tunnadine lived at Carlton House, Malpas, Newport. He had a brickworks on Malpas Road. We know they were producing in 1871. We know they were producing in 1906 because the records show them being there. But when it comes to 1926, there is no record of H. Tunnadine's bricks because the brickworks had been taken over by a company we have seen so often.
So often.
Star Brick Company.
Oh yes, lots of Star Brick bricks.
Because Star Bricks came in 1926, 100 years ago. But this brick is possibly over 100 years old. Because this is the guy who run the brickworks before Star Brick Company took over somewhere between 1906 and 1926. It became the Star Brick Company. So they no longer put their name on it. And we have a very crisp and neat example of their brick.
We do. And I've also got some answers in. The answers are coming in on the lime marmalade. Lexi likes lime marmalade. Ed hasn't tried it, but loves lemon curd. Now, I'm not keen on lemon curd, but I do fancy trying orange curd. I don't know if it's nice, but it looks good. And, Beata loves them all. Random said lime for the win. And anybody else coming in on the line? Tom says lime marmalade is great on toast, but in hot water as a drink, orange marmalade is better. I have never tried orange marmalade in hot water, so that's a new one on me. Right, I'm going to try that one day. And Anne Goodwin has never had marmalade of any flavour. And Rachel Ramey says, not a fan of marmalade, but I love apricot jam. Oh, bread, butter and apricot jam. Oh, I love that. And I also love I make bread and butter pudding. You know, you butter the slices of bread, put it in layers with layers of sugar, and then most people put currants or raisins in, and then you add mix up some milk and some egg, pour it over the top, pop it in the oven. Because I don't like raisins, I like to put chopped up apricots in, or even better, apricots that have been soaked in something nice, and then pop those in, and that is lovely.
Mind you, I dare say a lot of people out there will pick up on this themselves. A lot of the things that we think are really lovely, it's simply because they take us to a time and place. There's something that, as a child or at a special occasion, because I was never much of a jam eater. And then I used to go and visit an old friend of mine, an old mentor, and he always used to bring out his jars of marmalade, and I don't like marmalade. So he used to keep a jar of blackcurrant jam in to go on my toast when he had his marmalade. And now, every time, even though my friend has passed a number of years ago, my old mentor, I love a piece of toast with some blackcurrant jam on, because it's that sort of association with another time and people and places and things like that, as well as the flavours.
Well, you're saying that, D. Dorothy Papin, you said I like ginger marmalade. Now, when I was 11, I went away with the Girl Guides camping, and we had dumplings in stew, and I'd never tasted dumplings in stew, so I love dumplings from there. It's just the memories of this wood fire burning. And also, one of the leaders' husbands used to make ginger and rhubarb jam. And every morning we'd have ginger and rhubarb jam on our toast. Used to make a couple of jars ready for the camping. And now rhubarb and ginger jam I love, and it's all down to feeling like I'm camping again. I thought it was wonderful. And also one more thing.
Go on,
Sorry, I can't find it now. Oh, that's right. Lexi said she likes bread and butter pudding made with panettone when it's reduced after Christmas. Absolutely, 100%. It is so light, isn't it? Oh, I love panettone bread pudding.
I think bread pudding I like heavy. Cut it, and if you drop it on your foot, you'll have to go to Casualty.
Never tried it, never put it in my mouth. I make it all the time, but wouldn't eat it.
I will say that I have spent many a year being mocked by my wife for my particular choice of sandwich when it comes to jam.
Well, I've changed now.
I know. I was going to say, I did say I spent many a year. Now, Caroline, I've won the day. As she is aging, and she is aging, Caroline will be 60.
It's lucky I don't mind everybody knowing. Tell the world.
Yeah, we're going off. We're going off to London to celebrate Caroline's 60th birthday. Not this coming week, but we'll be going away. So next Friday, then the show goes out. We hope to be in our hotel.
No.
No.
We're not going till a week tonight. Week tomorrow. Are we?
We're going.
We're going on the Sunday.
We're going on a Sunday. We're going on a Sunday. We come back on a Friday. I'm confused.
We need to make sure we go on the right day. We will be here next week. We may not be here the week after. We probably will, but we may not. We'll definitely be here
next week, and we'll let you know what's happening the week after. And we will be putting out the video on Friday night that we made after the storms. And folks, I can tell you now, trees came down in the storms and uprooted treasures for us to find. Now, there's a couple of bottles worth looking at. A couple of snap tops. I haven't seen them in a while.
I'll raise your snap tops with a non-snap top that looks very similar.
Yes, I know. That's what I noticed. I gave you all the corked ones, and I had the snap top, and I noticed that there, the design is virtually the same. Right up to that point.
And then it changes.
But then they gave a lip on the top. They probably applied that on top so they could put a cork in it. So I thought, I love that one. That's flattened and bent. And that is probably how it was made all those years ago. Flattened and bent. And there we go. For all them who likes bubbles in the aqua. Look at that. All the bubbles in there.
And some droppers of water.
Yes, just to prove it's been washed. But I have one bottle here which leads to our next question. Because Do you remember our discussion of flag sauce? Do you remember that one? Flag sauce.
It's a bit nuisance, mate, when all the bits of flag get stuck in your teeth.
It says, as you turn it around, it says the, on that side, flag sauce. And I had a little look, and I found an advert for that as well. Because there we go, folks. It says, flag sauce for quality. Flag tomato ketchup is delicious too.
Ooh.
And you can see the flags on there from the and the flag there. So obviously it was a rather popular sauce in its time, and we have found a bottle for it.
Yep.
And I have a question related to it. So here we go. Are you ready, folks?
Thank you for the birthday wishes, everyone. And who was it? Abigail's, was it? Somebody said, I keep losing the chat. Abigail, yes, happy 21st birthday, Caroline, again. Thank you.
Yes, you've had quite a few of those now. But
I have.
You're coming up to your 39th, 21st birthday. March the 6th, we're not sure where we'll be. There's a few ideas. We could be eating afternoon tea in the Shard. Or on the other hand, I did say we could always do breakfast in the Shard and then head across town, because one of the places, Caroline's got a few places she wants to see. She wants to go in the Tate Modern, wants to go in the
Tate Normal, whatever that's called.
She wants to go in the Tate Art Gallery and the Tate Modern.
Yep.
Also wants to go to the Natural History Museum. Also wants to take a look around Harrods.
Yep.
And
Victorian and Albert Museum.
The Victorian Albert. We've got a list of places to go, but we will be having fun.
Yep.
And eating meals and going around, and we're not going to burden ourselves too much with cameras and videos, but we will be taking some footage as we go, and I'll try and edit that together as a video to share London with you from our perspective when we get back. But let's do the question on
marmalade.
Flag sauce. Fardens flag sauce and ketchup were manufactured by the Fardens Vinegar Company, which was founded in 1855 in Birmingham. But the company was sold to a well-known brand in the 1960s.
Ooh.
Which well-known brand bought Fardens Vinegar Company in the 1960s? Was it A, Heinz, B, Horlicks, or C, HP?
Go! Right, I know what I'm going for. I'm not sure if I should, but that's what I'm going for. Where's the answer to?
Down there.
Oh.
Right then.
I got it wrong again.
What do you think here, folks?
I didn't want to get it right anyway.
You got three options. You got A, B, and C. A is, do you think Heinz bought out the company that made flag sauce in the 1960s? Or do you think Horlicks bought out? You know Horlicks? We showed the jar a week or two ago. We'd found one down the dump. Do you think they bought it out? Or do you think it was HP, who were famous, of course, for another sauce, which was very similar to that sauce? What do you think?
All these answers coming in.
Indeed.
Wow.
Lots and lots of answers.
Lexi, I think it was saying about a ride down the Thames. I had a look. I would like to do afternoon tea for my birthday. It's my big highlight of the holiday.
Yeah.
So there is a few things. It's going down the river on it. You could have an afternoon tea. You can go on a
London bus.
Now that tempts me. A double-decker London bus.
And the front seats are available at the moment. I checked.
So that is tempting. So
they do a 90-minute tour of London, give you all the spiel while you're eating your afternoon tea.
And the thing is with the Shard, I may do it, but they're charging you a fortune and they won't even guarantee you a window seat. Now I think, I don't want to go paying all that money to see the beautiful view out from the Shard and find out I'm 3 tables in and I can't see anything.
I'm not going to argue.
So,
I don't like heights, so we'll be on the 34th floor.
Yeah, but I would have enjoyed it, but not if I can't guarantee a window seat, so I don't think we'll be doing that.
Oh, my friend Sean is 60 on the
6th of March.
6th of March.
All the best people born on the 6th of March.
Yeah, 60 years ago, 1964. There we go. Okay then, folks, let's have a look here. Let's see who you think bought out the Flag Sauce Company. Well, I can tell you that we do have correct answers. But I can also tell you that it's one of those times when not a lot of the answers are correct.
Right, have we got 3? That's the next question.
I don't know. Put it this way. Ed, you were right. It was Horlicks. It was Horlicks in the 1960s who bought it.
I thought I'd be a little bit different. I'll say HP rather than the obvious Heinz. I was wrong.
It was Horlicks. So, Ed, you gave us a B. Rachel Bailey, you gave us a B. And everybody else went C and A.
Ooh, so there's not a third B in.
No.
Quick. First bit of B in is going to be getting it.
I can only see 2. I don't know if I'm missing it, but I can only see 2 correct. Oh, gosh, I've done well on catching people out with my answers this week.
That was really... I didn't even imagine it would be Horlicks.
No, neither would I, except with my research.
Lexi saying about the walkie-talkie tower to the Sky Garden. I quite like that. I think it's great, but the only thing is you've got to book, even though it's free, you've got to book ahead to get a ticket, and I don't want to go taking a ticket and then find out I'm not going there because we've decided to go to the Shard, so I don't know whether to book a ticket or not. Being March, I'm thinking there won't be that many people anyway, so maybe we can go one day during the break. But that's brilliant when you think, because I think they said they charge £40 just to go up to the Shard to have a look. So then when you add the price of food on the top, it doesn't seem that expensive, but £40? So, yep. I think my daughter-in-law works in the walkie-talkie. Well, she works from home mainly, but that's where she's based, is in the walkie-talkie building. I'm pretty sure she said she did. Right, there you are. Abigail said that's the last one she expected, Horlicks.
Right then. So, Ed, you're on gold. Rachel, you're on silver. And then after Caroline suggested perhaps somebody would like to have the bronze position, the first person to come in was... Ed again. I just wanted to make sure. Rachel Ramey. So Rachel has got it. Now Mary has written John said B. Yeah, but he didn't put it in because I've just been back and checked. His name's not there. You should have listened, Mary. Should have listened to him. He knew, look. He knew. And there's several others that decided to go for B after I'd announced it. But Rachel, you can have the bronze podium. Well done. Excellent.
Right, Ian said, I'll let you know when I'm down there next. Another digger leaves some nice finds just past where you were. There are some gems down there. Ooh, sounds brilliant. Ooh, I can't wait now. You've got me all excited.
We'll go back. We'll go back.
Yes, just let us know. We'll be there.
That's great. That's great. Lovely.
Thank you, Ian.
Okay, well done, everyone. I'm quite pleased with my questions this week. I tell you what, though, it's nothing compared to what's going to happen when we have the last question. But just to share, is my teapot lid that I brought home. Ah, nice little teapot lid. And something that didn't show up on the Penguin Dump one is this teapot lid, which I didn't find, but along with the green jar, when we arrived, John made me a gift of that as well. So I've got another teapot lid there. So I've got 2 teapot lids, which I'm sure I'll be able to find 2 teapots for.
Lexi said she always wanted to go on the London Eye until someone said, what if it toppled into the water and you were trapped in the pod? Put me right off. I'm not sure I want to go on that because it all depends. You could get in one of the pods and it could be really busy and it could be full of all YouTubers and TikTokers who are filming.
Oh, them darn YouTubers.
Yes. But I'd like to go up and just relax and enjoy the view, and I don't think you can if it's a really busy time and they cram
Put it
lots
this way,
of people
if you
in.
said, can I have a pod to myself, they'd probably say yes, and then they'd quadruple the price or something.
So, and I'd rather watch it. I'm happy enough to watch it static anyway, so I'd rather go up the Sky Tower or up the Shard, something like that.
We've only got 2 minutes left.
Right.
And we have to cover this question.
Oh, go on then. Let's just do the question because it always takes a while.
This is going to be... I think this could be the most controversial time I've ever asked this question. Because I want to know how many places did Mankey appear in this week's video. Obviously, if you see him behind me on a tree and we cut away and we cut back and he's still in the same spot, that's 1. So here we go. Do you think you spotted Mankey in this week's video A, 5 times, B, 7 times, or C, 9 times?
Go! Yes, Ed said you're on the top of the London Eye and you want the loo. Another thing I wonder, you said that and it got me thinking, Ed, what if there was a medical emergency? You've got no way of contacting the people at the bottom, and I think they said it takes 45 minutes to revolve. So say you get up about 3 minutes in and somebody's taken seriously ill, you've got to wait for 42 minutes for it to come all the way back around so they can get you out. So, Not that worries me. You've got me all thinking about disaster scenarios now. I'd be able to do, like they got snakes on a plane and things. It'll be trouble at the London Eye, and I could write a story. Right, Ribble Finds is in 6 places 8 times. Ooh. And Phil's got all the timings written down.
Yeah, and the thing is, but I didn't give 8 as an option, but I did give 6.
Somebody's wrong.
Something's
It's
happening.
either Phil or Ribble Finds. There were some really sneaky ones this time. I know I keep looking down. I've got this piece of lace. I can't help it. I love lace, and I keep folding it different ways. I've got to put it down because I just love folding old vintage laces. Oh, they're lovely. So I put it down. There we go. It's too distracting. Right. Ooh. Nobody's put 9.
No, nobody's going that. They've all sussed me.
Some of them were glimpses. I will tell you that. Does anybody put 9?
You're making it sound like as if you think it should be 9, dear.
No.
Which
Tom Burley said 1,374 frames. You could be right. We haven't counted the frames. But it's terribly accurate. So I'm sure you did, Tom.
Right then, folks. Here we go. I understand why people will have said 6. Because, as Ribble Finds and Craft pointed out in their very detailed answer, he said 6 places. At the start, behind Phil. Correct. By the pottery piece that Manky found. That's right. In the tree. Saw him 3 times, but you were cutting away and back. That was because I cut it to show the autumn and the frost. So that was 3rd. Now, very good, because he spotted Santa's hat on in my backpack. And that was a very, very cunning one, that was, because I didn't realise that until I was doing the edit. And I thought, hang on, there's Manky there. Also got him by Santa. And behind me at the end. But what Ribble Finds and Crafts has missed, and so has virtually everybody else, because obviously those who've gone for 8 spotted 2 of them. There are 3 occasions when Manky is peeking out of my pocket and I didn't know. The top of his head was peeking out of my pocket. He was peeking out of my pocket when I show the brick. As my hand comes up to show the brick, you can see Manky's here and the top of his head as he's trying to peek out of my pocket to see the brick. Also, when... I'm trying to think now. I've lost track. He was peeking out of my pocket when I stood next to Santa for size comparisons. And also he was peeking out of my pocket when I did the thumbs up in the first haul. He was in my pocket and he had the top of his head and his ears peeking out. We have
said stop poking your head out of Phil's pocket, but he's a little monkey. You know he's supposed to be a panda, and he's always poking his head out because he wants to be seen as much as possible, because he's convinced he is a global superstar. Which he is. Aren't you? Yes. Look at the colour on him. I've got to wash his clothes before we take him to London. Look at that. He's shocking. He was playing in the bottle digger's holes and got himself in a right mess. So those clothes are going... Look at this. Look at the back. Those clothes are going in the washing machine. I think Manky's looking ready for his summer wash. Every summer I give him a wash and hang him on the line. He definitely needs another wash now. He's more grey than white.
So, I'm going to say very well done to Anne Goodwin, who spotted 8.
Well done, Anne.
That's exceptionally good. Congratulations to Ribble Finds for very detailed finds. Congratulate everyone who got 6, because it means you spotted him in the backpack. 7 to Judy Erickson. That's exceptionally good, because that means you spotted one of the... And then P. Mitch, got a sneaky feeling that 9 may have came in after the discussion started, but it's good enough for me.
And Lexi came in saying, I'll put 9.
Lexi says, I'll put 9, and Judy Erickson said, I'll give you a 9. So, technically, P. Mitch, Lexi and Judy Erickson, you've got the podiums. Special mentions though, and podium places. We'll have 2 lots of podiums. So podium places for Anne Goodwin, who got 8, and for Judy, who got 7, and as I say, well done to all those who got 6.
It wasn't easy this time.
No, I every time I watched it, I spotted another time Mankey turned up. I thought somebody's going to say 10. I missed one. But he did get around.
He does.
And it's a bit of fun. And it gives you something to try and look out for.
Rachel said, I said 9 too.
Rachel
Raby. Anne Goodwin said, manky. He is rather manky, isn't he? And Ed said, messy, manky. I don't know how he gets so dirty. Between you and me, sometimes he doesn't always move himself. Phil helps. He can't hear me talking, I don't think. And Phil's hands are dirty, and he puts his hands on Mankey, picks him up, and he goes onto his clothing. So I reckon Mankey, if left to his own devices, would be immaculate.
Sorry. Big apologies.
Oh, Rachel, did he diddle you out of your place?
Rachel, you have a solid gold podium, all of your own. Because in fairness, I was looking at all the numbers. This is what gets me, see. Mike caught me last week by writing the word 5, and I was looking for numbers, and this time I was seeing all the numbers. I didn't think to look for C. And Rachel Raby gave us Rachel. A C.
And Lynette Evans is there with a C. Sorry, Lynette. Looks like you got a silver too.
Lynette Evans, you got a C. Well done. I'm looking at all the numbers.
Shame on you.
I did so well. I got to the last question. It's Mankey's doing my edit.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go then. Well done, Rachel and Lynette, because
Next week you sit on the shelf and Mankey can do this bit, okay?
Yeah. Rachel and Lynette, you get a gold podium each. And it's a real one this time. Oh, I tell you what. Mankey, you're causing chaos, pal.
No, I think you're causing chaos.
Well, between us, somebody's causing chaos. Well, folks, it's late.
Yes, thank you for sticking with us. It's nearly 10:10.
There's 51 still here.
Oh, lovely. Before you go, if you give us a thumbs up, that would be great. It just lets YouTube know that you've enjoyed the programme, so they show it to other people. And we'll see you all next time. But until then, before we go, sorry, I've got to hold everybody up. Whoops. Didn't want that bit anyway. Mankey did insist that before we go, he wants to say get well soon to Elaine, because he knows she's having more problems. He wants to give her a big Mankey kiss. Elaine, if you're watching, and if not, Lexi, if you can let her know that this came her way, it's a kiss off Mankey, and for everybody else who needs a kiss tonight.
There we go.
Time to go now.
Get well soon, Elaine.
So we'll see you all next time, but until then, don't forget, have fun. Bye.
I
can't find my thingy.